Alright, everyone, so recently the trailer for the Daima DLC dropped for, you know, Sparking Zero. But for people like me who have no life and pre-ordered the game, we get the DLC early, which, yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually enjoyed playing uh Vegeta Mini, or Daima Vegeta, however you want to call it. I think Super Saiyan 3 is pretty good. But there is an issue that I think is just massively, well, it's addressed a lot in comments and whatnot anytime there's a new DLC and shit. And I think Spike Chunsoft just either doesn't look or just doesn't care anymore. So I want to bring up the fact that we have no new maps. I don't understand this. I feel like my microphone is peaking, I don't know why. We have no more new maps, and it just feels like that Spike just doesn't give a shit anymore. For real. With the new Diamond DLC, there is no maps. Now, if they do add new maps with DLC 2 and shit, then, this is pretty much null and void, but we haven't got any new maps since the game dropped last year. That is a slight issue for, us players. Because how is it Sparking Zero is supposed to be a successor to BT3, but BT3, which came out in 2007, has more maps than Sparking Zero, the successor to the Budokai Tenkaichi games. Hell, even Xenoverse 2 has more unique maps. I understand Spike wants to, update and add to the roster, which is fine, but it defeats the purpose when we have still half of the half of the series, like half of the BT3 roster. We don't have many Dragon Ball characters. We have some Z characters. We have some Super characters, and we have fuck all GT characters, to be honest. Granted, there weren't that many GT characters, and Super is a whole nother ballgame because that shit introduces a lot of new fighters. Like, I think Super introduced like the most fighters out of any Dragon Ball media, apart from Super Dragon Ball Heroes, which we're not talking about. But the whole map issue is what's really bugging the community because we are just starved of new maps. Like, understandable that we're getting new characters, but new maps, nah. But the biggest issue that I have with Spike is that during the development phase of Sparking Zero, they went out of their way to listen to fans, right? Listen to feedback and whatnot. They added, removed, fixed up stuff, like that. They actually interacted with fan feedback, and that was pretty good. But now they kind of messed up the trust because anytime fans are like, hey, can you add new maps? There's nothing. We don't get anything. And I don't know why. It's just really bugging me how, we ask and ask and ask for new maps, but they just don't deliver on it. I understand creating maps is, you know, it takes a bit, but it takes longer to make a character than it does an actual map. Like, we don't need full on, like, interactable maps and shit, but, like, you can redo half of the BT3 maps and then, like, slowly add in new maps based on Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Super, and Daima. Hell, we're getting a Daima DLC, but no demon map. Unless, unless they bring out a Demon Realm map in DLC Pack 2, which, if they do, hey, that's a big step forward for us. And for Spike Chunsoft. I would love to see new maps. But if they don't, I think Sparking Zero it will just sort of slowly die out because they just won't add anything, majorly new. You don't have to add heaps of new shit, but when fans ask for more playable maps instead of just playing the same stuff over and over again, it gets boring quickly. Hell, even like as I said, like Xenoverse 2 has unique maps. They even added like the DLC. They added the superhero map, which granted is like small as shit because Xenoverse 2 maps are extremely small, except for the archipelago map, which is massive in comparison. Even Xenoverse 2, even Xenoverse 2's roster is massive, despite you know like 10% of it being reskins and whatnot. But if I have to go back to like an older game, like say Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, just to look at the Demon Realm in a Dragon Ball game, yet Sparking Zero within the next 2 years or 3 years doesn't have any new maps by then, that is a massively bad look for Spike Chunsoft. Like, Xenoverse 2, despite being a dead Dragon Ball game, is still adding more DLC than the most recent Dragon Ball game. The most, like, amazing looking Dragon Ball game. I'd say, like, probably one of the best looking. People can argue with me about, like, Fighter Z and shit. I just don't see Fighter Z as accurate as Sparking Zero. But, hey, to each their own. Leave it at that. We can all agree that Xenoverse 2 just looks like shit. It took me a couple of years to see that. Like, I went back to Xenoverse 2, looked at it, I'm just like, holy shit. At the time when this game came out, it looked pretty good, but looking at it now after Fighter Z, Sparking Zero, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, it just looks like shit. But yeah, I just really wanted to address this issue on Sparking Zero. Like, sure, my points in that are a bit muddled, and I hate if you guys just, skip through this and that. I'm not gonna blame you if you do. My points are a bit all over the place. I don't really script videos because if I read off something, I kind of fumble my reading. My brain just doesn't want to work half the time, but yeah. I'm more better at just getting my thoughts out. But, yeah, hopefully Spike Chunsoft can, give us new maps and whatnot, add older characters and shit. Like, I just really want, like, Sparking Zero to thrive. It is a very good looking game. It plays uniquely well. It's it's a love letter to Tenkaichi fans. It's supposed to be the Dragon Ball game. Like, I can't even play older Dragon Ball games because my brain just doesn't want to work. I kind of fumble with like older games. I even tried to play Kakarot before, and I just couldn't remember. I couldn't even figure out how to play. I had to redo the game and look at the tutorials and controls. But yeah. But this is gonna be a short video, 8 minutes long with me rambling about shit. But I just need to address all the shit, uh, which is happening with Sparking Zero. But yeah, if you enjoyed listening to this, give us your thoughts. I guess I'll see you in another video. See ya.